Alright. Hello. Best of the rest. We are going to start with Persephone today. I think he's going to be a great player. Pretty much my entire team. This might not the team tournament, but I am practicing my team. I'm practicing my entire team, so I definitely want to start with Persephone. And my entire team is even versus Grave. I'm going to pull this up just a little bit. There we go. So, I don't know how he starts. I think I'm going to start... To avoid mistress command, he may block, so I'm going to go ahead and throw. Okay. That's good to know. He is going to play the mistress command... Oh, okay. He had a straight, so that's fine. Monies. So which is fine. Sorry, I started speaking something. I was playing the mistress command anti-game. I'm actually going to go here thinking we might block. Whoa. Whoa. Concealed 45. I guess that's one way to go. Yeah. Kind of hard not to not to rip it when you get it, so that's kind of funny. I'm gonna guess he's gonna look to kind of put me away at this point, so I can probably get a safe block here. And of course he throws. Why not? Sure, go ahead. You get a 9 throw, that's fine. Pretty much anything's good here for him to win. I'm gonna go ahead and dodge. Well, okay. That was quite an opener. 2 seconds. Alright, well, I guess we're just gonna drop Persephone and just get right into my main. I'm not gonna mess around this time. No reason. Well, yeah, pretty crazy. I'm gonna see. Yeah, he's playing to win every combat. So and I think I'm not really sure what to make of that. I think you're defeating yourself by doing that. Of course, if he's got the cards, he's got the cards. And he's putting himself down to 4 cards as per usual. I don't know what his background is, but when you do that, you're just asking to get run over later. Persephone, you can kind of go ahead and run it pretty hard, but You're not gonna do that with Troc. He just has too much life. And like, look, I'm like only 10 behind now, with one combat win, and he spent like a huge amount of cards. We're gonna go ahead and make him pay for it more. I'm gonna hold on to my 6s. I still have a K throwback, so that's fine. We'll try to get a block off here. Yep. And I think with players that haven't played a super amount, I'm just gonna sit there and just try to like run you over, and they're gonna find they're gonna put themselves in some huge problems. That's fine, I'll just do normal throw here. Yeah, see, he put himself face down, and he's now only got 3 cards. That's a huge problem. And now he's playing off the top. He basically can't really play much of anything. He just has to sit there and be like, okay, well, what am I doing? I have no idea. Now he's playing a 6 after I put down 3 kings. That's a little late. I was leaving myself open. I'm gonna make like I have, I just need 1 for Beast Unleashed. Also put himself in a position now where he's not going to be able to get, wow, okay. It's going to just keep coming at me. He's playing not. I guess he's playing Grave. I mean, you get the cards, you get the cards. What are you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna make him pay. Trying to help him out. I think this is good. This is a good series to help each other out. kind of get yourself in a good situation where it's just like, hey, look, you know, you may want to rethink how you played that game. You used up pretty much all your good cards, and then you got down to like no hand size. You can't do that. It's a lesson that I learned fairly early on in my development. If you're sitting there trying to, well, not early on, I'd say more recently. If you sit there and trying to win every single combat, you're just going to lose. And that's the problem, is that then you're not going to have a hand. Then what you do have is just not a great hand. And then you're playing off the top, and then you just lose to better cards, and you can't get the kill because you just don't have the cards to kill. You've done all this damage at the beginning, but it means nothing because you can't finish it up. I'm going to try to go for the straight here, see if I can get him on K defense. Yep. This is fine. I still get the ace out of it. It's back to 6 cards, but he's used up one of his jokers now. That's good news for me. And I do like to try to throw the king. I don't really like trying to throw the kings early. It's gotten to the point where just everybody does that. And then because of that, you end up putting yourself in a position where... a bunch of good stuff. You get yourself put in a position where you have no more king defense. See, and now he's in a position where he has to build a hand. And I'm fine trading blocks here. I'll block all day. I'm perfectly fine with that scenario. I wish I still had my kings back. I could take some stuff back. Yeah, I mean, he's used up, let's see, 2 10s. No, I can probably do this card sorted here. 2 10s. He's still got a lot of throws left in him. I'm going to try to get in here for 15, I think. I'm just going to put him on his back. So we know he has 2 aces and he's got 1 other card. And we're gonna say he doesn't the other chipper. Yep, he's just really just destroying his hand before he gets a chance to go. And Grave is such an awesome blocker. He's really good at blocking. He's very strong. He's one of the strongest blockers around, and you know, it'd be good to see him block a little bit more. And speaking of blocking, I'm not going to get a lot here, so I'm just going to go ahead and go under 1 for starters. I really wanted to practice some of the other characters like Persephone, but I think this is a situation where doesn't work underneath, my friend. Okay, he may not realize he's gonna have to pass after every combat, basically, except for defensive ones. It's a weird spot. I don't think I want to. I really want to say that for Gold Burst. Okay, now that we have another block, we can safely do that. You may go for another throw. I think here I'm okay with just blocking it out. And we'll go ahead and throw face down here. We haven't face down yet this entire game. No, he decided not to respect it. Okay. So, we actually could have thrown it down. But that's fine. I'm okay with losing that card to show that I'm willing to bluff. I'll go ahead and take a throw here, because I think he's going to try to throw again. Worst case, he blocks. Yeah. A little too predictable. That's fine, we'll just take the knockdown. We'll have him run himself out of blocks. Or out of throws. This one we're gonna let go. So I've got 4 cards left. So we know one card's an ace. We draw a 10. So if he has a throw, we're fine here. It's like, okay, well, we took 6 damage. What is it, 6? Is it? I forget. Yeah, 6. It's like, okay, we took 6 damage. What else can you do? Not much. Yeah. So that's the ace we knew about. Yes, that's the ace we knew about. We'll dodge here. Try to get 15 in. Not exactly a great hand, unfortunately. We have 39, 48. We have enough to kill if we hit with everything, but it's kind of a weird spot. pretty safe to do that. He's got to think about blocking at some point. I'm gonna give him a chance to block. Okay. I found a king. Queen. That's good for him. I wouldn't add to this. If he continues to add to it, like if he dumps his entire hand. Okay, so if I have 2 10s, you just have no hand now. I think he's going to try to block on this turn. We haven't done stuff like this before, so let's just go ahead and do it. We have a cue to close it out here. If he dodges, we can Joker. We get chip. That's good. And queens as you throw down too. That's good. Yeah, and unfortunately he had a tendency to really put his hand size low. Okay, he left. Okay, never mind. Well, I was gonna try to give him some advice, like, just, Hamvvar, all you really gotta do is just block a little more. I know it's a little scary kind of blocking against, somebody like a Troc or whatever, but Troc is actually gonna attack a lot more, and so is Midori. They both have solid attacks, so they're still gonna attack quite often, and they're gonna block often, so you can find times to block. You just gotta be really mindful about your hand size. Graves got great blocking. You really want to really utilize that. You really want to utilize those blocks with him to start up a mix-up game, because you can do a mix-up. You can reveal a dodge attack, and then play a throw because they're going to play a block to try to keep you from drawing the card, or you can do like an 8 throw, which sets up a mix-up using an attack. And then you play the mind games with them. It's just like, okay, well, last time he crossed up, or not crossed up, but he showed attack dodge and he threw. So this time we show attack dodge. I'm just going to attack, and then you actually dodge instead. Not only getting the free Q, but then also getting an attack off too. There's a lot of advantages to blocking with Grave, and you really need to think about using that. And you got to find ways to use it against a grappler. If you're not going to use it against a grappler, the other thing you got to be careful and mindful of is not to use up all your really good face cards early, or just go run through your face cards to block kings and such like that. If I see you throwing out your face cards, I'm not going to play my kings. I'm just going to hold on to them. And if you're throwing out attacks all the time, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to just wait till later, and then your hand size is pretty much racked. Because you may hit once or twice and then throw a bunch of stuff after it, but then you're down to like 3 cards. So I'm either going to war stomp you till you have no cards in hand, or maybe 1 or 2 cards in hand. Cards that I know because like you powered up for 2 aces, and then I understand what you have left in your hand. Or you're going to put yourself in a situation where you don't have anything left. You have no ways to really defend yourself because you can't block, you can't dodge against those kings, and you just don't have any face cards left in your hand. You just have low normals, which are just going to get beat by those kings. So your hand's basically checkmated by them. So I'm either going to hold on to them, or I'm going to dodge into the kings, and then by the time you get around to it, I probably have not gotten 2 blocks off because you've been attacking for so much. Or I've done something like play a 4 underneath your 5/6s to be able to do a 5/5/6. And especially if I got giant growth, that's a pretty sizable chunk of damage. That's a 4/5/6 would be 10, 15 plus 6 would be 21 damage. It's just as much as my AA. So you got to be really careful and mindful of that. You don't want to blow your wad so quickly. It worked on game 1 against Persephone, and with good reason. It's because if Persephone can get you in the mix-up, then you could just lose from that. But if you just chomp right through your 75 life like you did, it works perfectly. But when you got somebody like a Troc or a Rook or a Midori who has 90 plus life, you just can't do that. You get down to like halfway, and then you have nothing. You have no gas left to finish them off. And it's a painful lesson that I've had to learn recently, because I've had a lot of games where I've been at single target. My opponent's been single digit life, and I can't finish them off. You got to be able to have cards in hand to finish them off. And in order to do that, you got to build a hand, which means you're going to have to block at some point, or you're going to have to get some normal attacks in, to kind of keep yourself card neutral. And in the Val game, Val needs a big hand because she's going to lay them all out. You really got to pay attention to that. So honestly, if there's just one thing that will step up your game like 10 times, is just you just gotta block more. It's the first rule of Yomi is you just gotta build your hand. You gotta block more. Unless you're playing Sasuke, then you don't have to block at all. Unless you're playing Gwen, you may have to block every once in a great while, but you really have to block with all the other characters, and you do have to block a lot. The one other thing too that you got to be careful of too is not using up all your throws. Use up all your throws early, and it's just like, okay, well, you have no throws left. I can just block for free all day, get a huge hand, and then, what do you do then? Because now you have no idea what I got. So that's it. I mean, that's it. It's like telling somebody new in a fighting game, and this is a big problem for me that I'm working on. Don't jump so much. You shouldn't jump so much when you're playing a fighting game. Same thing here. You just gotta attack. You just gotta block a little bit more often. You gotta play a little bit more. You gotta build a hand. If you don't have a hand, you have no damage in hand. And then I don't have to worry about saving jokers. I don't have to worry about you killing me. I don't have to, in one shot. You have to win several more combats. Whereas if you took your time to build a hand, you can win in less combats. You don't need to get a few combat wins to get your damage in, because you've got cards to throw on top of it. So there's a lot of good things that come from blocking, and that's all you gotta do. You start blocking more, your game's gonna get better. You got to do it against a grappler. You have to do it. But and one last thing specifically in the Troc matchup, and this goes for everybody, be very, very careful about going to a low hand. If you get down to like 2 or 3 cards, you're in danger of having to play no card. which if there's 2 blocks online and he's got Beast Unleashed, you're going to take 45 for free. And you may end up losing, like, you got a Joker in hand, couple, and maybe 2 other cards, and then I unload War Stomps on you. You're not going to have anything left. Now, does that happen often? No. But it's something you got to be careful of. It's something you really got to be mindful of. Even if I play War Stomp once, it leaves you with like 2 cards. You have 3 cards at hand. Well, you're down to 2 cards. And say one of them is Joker. Now you got Joker in 1 card. What do? Do you Gold Burst and hope to kind of get a couple of aces in hand? Do you just play the card that you did? This is the Joker, and then you're playing off the top, literally the entire rest of the game, and then you're saving your Joker to kind of get you out of trouble later. I mean, you play your 1 card. You have 1 card left in hand. You play face down. I'm not going to follow up. I'm going to think that's a Joker 100% of the time. Will it save some damage if it wasn't? Sure. But then now you're literally playing off the top of the deck. So, just some things to keep in mind, both in your matchups and just in general. Watch your hand size, block more, and be very mindful about your hand size with Rock. Same with Manalker. Manalker's another person you got to be really careful about your hand size, because if you go to low hand against Manalker, he'll just wreck you. So, anyway. Enough with that advice, and hopefully that wasn't just for Hamvvar either. It's for everybody that's fairly new, and any that's like kind of learn like the Troc matchup, or just how to fix their game a little bit. Well, finally got on the board here for this tournament. Didn't get the practice that I wanted, but after taking that Persephone hit, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do much with Persephone, so decided to go ahead and go right in the Troc. And at this point, I actually did think I would maybe drop another game at some point, which I was more than willing to just switch over to Lum or something like that, but it didn't happen. So anyway, I'll catch you all next time.